Okay, guys, welcome. Sorry I'm a bit late on. As you've known, I've had a bit of a bad cough this week. My throat has been really bad. Okay. Now I wanted to go through a couple of things because the dollar has been very interesting and something very important that I missed. So I wanted to go through that first and then we can come back. So I'm going to switch over. See Hugo's way. And then after we can go from there. If you hear loud noises, guys, that's my heater. Just trying to switch over to get things going. Yeah. So 1 second. Let me just make sure I've got this. All right, cool. I just wanted to wait a little bit before I get on. So one of the most important things that I missed that I really want to point out to all of you, if I go back on the H4 now, this signature that happened is pretty brilliant, but my only problem is the price hasn't returned to supply. And I will put the schematic out on the group as well. But this is an important thing. We have unfulfilled efficiency of supply right here. And, bearing that in mind, I have the suspicion that the price is not ready to completely go short just yet. We've had a return to demand and price has gone here. So I wanted to say that we are looking for the reversals and we did have that, but the price didn't use supply to do it. So we have unfulfilled efficiency of supply. Now, this might be not that large to big of a difference, but it's highly important because supply and demand is what drives price long or short. Supply in its normal context and usage, supply pushes price short or bearish, and demand pushes the price long or bullish, or in the bullish direction. Now, because we haven't had this is why the price has rallied up the way it has, and it's getting towards the same place again. Because really, the price needs to go back there one more time to actually find supply. And since we haven't found supply, this is one of the reasons why we're in the position that we're in right now. The dollar has been, I wouldn't say messy, but just all over the place. Okay. And this is the reason for it. All right. Now I could stay on here and actually just look at all of the charts that we have so far. Now, coming into a new month, always remember that the beginning and the ends of months are always, some of the most volatile and manipulative, because new order blocks get created and old order blocks get closed down. Okay. So as a result of that, you would see a lot of price action, of that sort. Now, on the daily time frame here, okay, we have a stop hunt of the previous month here. Price has taken the high of the previous month, and we are in supply. So we are in a good area where the price can sell off from, but you can see here that the price is really seeming to almost play a game. And the reason is because the dollar index needs to also line up. And this is what really I'm waiting for. So it's been a tough one. Okay, the price has been very annoying because we are in some trades ourselves in the academy, and the market has just been very, 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 very annoying. It's been bouncing in a range for God knows how long, for the whole day basically. And we're just trying to hold our guns to make sure that we get ourselves, resiliently holding. So this is really where we are right now. So for now, the only trade that we are in, and I'll show you, is gold. But I still expect the price to pull back. Now, we've had great structure breaks. So I'm going to start with, for example, NZUSD, which was one of our picks here. The price gave us a very good set of inductions into this demand zone area here. And more importantly, what I do like is that on the H4, we do have the H4 market structure break over here. Now, it's not at this high right here where the price is broken a structure, but we have a pool of highs over here where we have body closes. So there's a clear change in direction coming along in the market. However, in order for the price to completely return back, we need one more return to demand on the H4. Okay. If I was to use this area here to show it, just draw this zone out here. We need the price to return to demand. On the H4, you can see that the price is still trying to make its way short, but at least if the price doesn't return to the depth of this purplish area, my idea was for the price to at least return back over here. So something of this sort right here. Okay, so if I just draw this out, here. All right. I'm expecting the price to do something of this sort over here. So, you know, bearing that in mind, we do have some more shorting to do on the price. In other words, the dollar index needs to go long slightly further so that at least we can get returns back to this area here at least. I'm expecting the price to really descend lower because we have equal lows back down here for the price to go for. Maybe you can't see it from here and change the color back to, I think I had, I think it's this one or dark orchid I think I've got. So around this range here. So I'm actually expecting the price to do a little bit more of a short, but again, we're going to have to wait and see. The market has been playing really hard to get, annoyingly hard to get. I'll be realistic. And it's not fun to hold on to trades when you know that they're supposed to go in a specific direction, but it's like they know they're supposed to go there, but they refuse to go there. It can be very frustrating. And so honestly, we're just holding on for now. All of us, all my students are holding on to our trade. Okay, and also just paying attention to what the dollar index does, because we do have a liquidity gap here when the market opens. And maybe it might fill that gap before it moves any further. You know, we don't know, but definitely there is a game going on the market, and it's not a fun one to be in. So we may actually close our trades, or we'll see how it goes. I'm just playing by ear to see what happens. And then from there, we'll be able to make some assumptions as to what to do. Now, next pair that, you know, one of the highest probability pairs that we're looking at for a sell would be USD CHF. And if I go over to USD CHF now, I'm just going to go over here and grab it. USD CHF is in a fantastic area for shorting. Okay, however, I mean, let me just drag this here. If I drag this supply zone over here, I really don't like this color. I think it doesn't show the wicks properly. So let me try to go for a brighter color. All right, so on the weekly here, you can see that we are in weekly supply, which is good enough liquidity to give us this one last short that I've been going on about. Now, at first, what we had was that the price did take the high of the previous month. So the month of January was taken by the month of February. Okay. However, the next stage now that we're at is the price has now taken the high. March has taken the high of February. So that's still a great movement. Now, you know, bearing that in mind and looking at the price, when the market takes a significant high, there should be a lot stronger of a reaction than what we've had, which lets me know that they're still not ready to go short. And that's to do with the dollar index. So if you're wondering why you're in a sell and it hasn't really happened the way you would want to, this is primarily the reason why. So my suggestion is that I'm holding on a slightly longer to see what the price is trying to offer us. But, you know, just as with everything, patience is an important part of trading. And really, I know that the market is playing a game, but it's just how long can you hold on for? That's the question. Okay, so USD CHF, I mean, if it ends up being a situation where the price goes long to the end of this week, now we have one more PMI news on Friday. We had one on Wednesday, which was more than the previous, but less than expected. So it was still a bearish number, not by a lot. But then we have one more piece of news at 3 o'clock. So my idea is that all my trades are at break even at the moment. I guess my suggestion right now is just simply to hold on and wait for the market to give us, you know, opportunity to lean forward basically with our trades. That's what my idea is. So until 3 o'clock tomorrow is when I think is my cutoff point. After that news piece comes out, I'm going to keep my stops at break even. After that news piece comes out, I think by that point, if the market's not going to do anything by then we'll just have to call it quits for the week, wherever we come out. Now, I don't want to end off at break even. I want to obviously get some profit coming in, but at the same time, you can't force the market. If it's not giving what you want, then you're just going to have to hang in there. Now, the other trade that we are in, and I'll show you over here, maybe with gold on this chart here. Okay, I can show you. I have the trade open on one of my funded accounts here. So, well, this one is actually, I think, in an evaluation. I've got multiple. So this one is in an evaluation stage. All right, just to show you the trade that I'm in. So if I go over here, this is the sell that I have. Now, for me to hit my target, this is not what I actually want, but this is all I need to really hit my target on the trade. I just need $1,094 left to be able to do so. Now, why did I take this trade? Well, I mean, we had a very strong induction for a short coming to the end of last week, or the weeks coming to the end of the month. And then we had the price pushed down very strongly short. We never, once the price, gave us this induction here, if I was to take even the low of that day, we had a body close beneath the low of the day. And then we had a pool of equal highs that were left behind here. Now, after that situation that happened, you can see that the price gave a very strong induction the other way, so down over here. Okay. And then after that inductive move that we've had, the price took off long without really giving an opportunity to enter on, I would say, the H1. If you were down on the M1 and M5, there was plenty of opportunity. But one thing the price has done, and this is across the board on all charts, I looked at this on IC markets as well, which is my main trading base. The price left a gap here. So the gap that the price left over here lets us know that there is room for the price to come back down to this area. Now, the specific reason why we have this entry right over here as it is, I put 0.63. I'm at break even basically, so there's no risk to the trade. Of course, there is a part where when you've been in a range like this for so long, you'd also want to kind of like, if you can, take a bit of profit at least, because waiting for, as long as we've had to just get a trade going has been, an annoyance. I wouldn't lie to you. You can imagine being here, the price has gone here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6 times to the same area, bounced up and down through news, medium impact news, all sorts of news. So it hasn't really been fun. However, looking at the price action here, there's very obvious reasons why the price should be on its way down for a sell. Okay. Now, for that sell to happen, probably we might need some news to kind of drive the price, because it is 178 pips away. But, when the market was making its way up, it actually didn't really need news to go on its way up. Now, one of the students in the academy, Isaac, suggested that maybe the price may take the high of the previous week before we took this first entry. But my thing was really, when I look at this, is that there isn't going to be much interest at this weekly high because of where it is. And number two, if the price wanted to take the weekly high, we could have just made a higher high with this stop pump before doing so. To me, the price has just returned to a very key area of supply. And because the direction that we're looking for is really long, or a bullish direction for this trade, I don't think there's much necessity in the price having to take the high of the previous week just to reverse back down. There's ample supply enough to push the price down. And this is why I'm sticking to this trade for now, just for that reason. At the moment, of course, the price is ranging. It's not fun, but the price is still in quite a few areas of supply. If I just brought this over for a moment, you can see that price really is hanging inside of this supply zone area here on the H4. I think in this case, I would rather get stopped out at break even rather than close the trade. At this point, the price has, been in a range for a while, and there's lots of reasons why the price needs to go short. And there isn't really much room the price could go to, because if it does take the weekly high, there isn't really supply really to match that weekly high being taken. But with the weekly low being taken, we have ample demand across the board over here. So for me, it will be a lot wiser for the price to come down and come back to where it was before proceeding for a long than, on the short side. So this is really where my mind is at when it comes to these pairs. All right. I've hated being in gold. I'm being honest with myself. I've looked at gold a couple of times to work out every inconceivable reason why the price is just hanging here. And I guess one of the conclusions is, you know, when I look at this price action over here, all right, from this previous day, or I'll take it from the actual day of the start of the day. From the start of the Asian session, the price has, you know, been descending short pretty nicely over here. And with the last week that we just had come out in the last 15 minutes, the price has cleared out all the highs from Asia and left a new highest point for the US session, okay, in the US session. So if there was anybody selling from the beginning of the day, they have been stopped out. So that kind of gives me confidence to say that I do think the price definitely should push short. And I just think that this is just a waiting game range, if I put it that way. So when you see it like that now, I mean, it's nice to see the price dropping as I'm talking, but I think for me, this is much what I'm looking for when it comes to our trade. So this is what the dollar has been doing, guys, and that's really been my focus. I haven't looked at anything else. I've just been focusing on the dollar and the price action of it. I know pound USD's come back to a significant area, but even though the price had this great induction at the low and didn't come back, I think pound USD is giving us a sign that there's still some bearishness here. You know, the main H4 body here, the price is closed beneath it quite strongly and is on the other side of it. So we might end up getting a supply. I don't want to call it a supply shock because the context might sound like a supply shock in terms of market supply shock, but we're on the other side of this supply zone here. So there's room for the price to really start descending short. So I'm not surprised if maybe with these pairs that we're looking at, they start to descend short later on today and clears out the noise and starts to have some directionality because there isn't any at the moment. But I do think that every movement that's happened here does have meaning. Even the push long and then the push back short, all of these does have meaning, and I do see what the price is doing here. I'm just hoping really that I can stay at break even and go to sleep without being stopped out and then the price then producing the short that I'm looking for. Okay. Now, maybe what I might have a barrier is just that I guess to get an entry that like the one I have was quite timely and wasn't, I wouldn't say so easy, but just in terms of the volatility, because the news came out whilst this price pushed back in here, it wasn't easy to grab this entry. And I don't want to move my stops away from break even. So it's kind of like a catch-22 where I'm thinking, if I put my stop loss above maybe, let's say this wick here, which is the previous stop one, then of course I've opened myself up to risk, which I don't really want to do at this stage. But then if I don't do that and the price comes nearby, but it still wants to go short, I may miss this entry and it could happen whilst I'm asleep, you know? Now, in a case like this, I couldn't put a pending order for the same entry again with the stop loss because then it defeats the objective. I might as well just keep this trade open, especially because I've been charged and my swap is negative that I've been charged. I think I've been charged $24 for this 0.63 trade. Now, you know, I'm watching out for everything. And really, I'm kind of just banking on this H1 area to really contain the price because this is what I was discussing with the students again. So I'll explain to you guys. So we have this H1 demand zone here, which has been my focus. Now, the reason why I like to focus on zones like these, because they create very clear pictures as, you know, to support a hypothesis for why we should be going long or short. So if I, let's say I just put this here, all right. So this supply zone over here, what's happened? So the supply zone has happened, or the demand zone now that we have here, just before the news, the price used this area of liquidity to push price into the first entry area. Now, the student who in question who talked about this actually has an entry at 1844, really a sniperish entry. I was slightly late to the party. I got in at 1841, but I still managed to try to get in before the major drop happened. Now, when the price broke beneath this area and has returned, this demand zone is no longer demand, is supply. And not only just that, but within this supply zone area, there's a nested supply zone. So, you know, because of the bias that, you know, the price is offering to us and showing us, and that is basically hanging around here, I'm sticking to the belief that the price is willing to want to go short, you know. I hope it does stay in this area. To be fair, all the way until literally the end of this zone, the price could actually come back up to, you know. So I'm hoping, you know, looking at the price, that it doesn't disappoint and it does stick to what we're looking for. And this is just simply just noise. But this is one of the reasons why I'm staying in now. If the price breaks this H1 area, would I close it? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see why. But, you know, just this small piece of price action here, even though this is a very strong area of range now, what I would say is that if I'd ever did close this, then all I would simply do if I didn't have an entry is definitely use this same area, because you can see it's a very strong price gap. Now, some people call this support. And I do think that one of the things the price is doing, maybe why it's slow as well, is to accumulate as much buy orders and sell orders as possible using this range today. Because by doing so, they'll have enough liquidity to, you know, to make money from traders, really and truly. Because I'm sure that a lot of traders are going crazy right now. Some are scalping, some are buying, some are selling, some are doing both. You know, gold has been very, from the front, from without really doing much analysis at all, or surface analysis, it's been quite confusing and annoying, okay, for all of us. So really, this is my trader. Every entry I have is exactly the same. I'm just hoping that the price does not, you know, doesn't disappoint and actually gives us an opportunity to go short, and we'll have to just wait and see. At this point, there isn't any more US dollar news. To my knowledge, there isn't any US dollar news anywhere that could really help the price to go short until Friday. So I'm just going to keep on holding this trade really until 3 o'clock on Friday. Hopefully that might produce something, okay? Because there's no point of watching this anymore. If it stops me out, it just stops me out. At least I gave it an attempt, and that's really it. Okay, guys? So I'll catch all of you guys later on. My voice is getting back to normal now. I'm happy about it. And